Ya vienen los touchdowns. ¿Estás listo? Esta temporada de la NFL convierte las jugadas grandes en premios con DraftKings Sportsbook, un socio oficial de apuestas deportivas de la NFL. Descarga la app de DraftKings Sportsbook y usa el código HEART. Ese es el código HEART para recibir $200 en bonus bets al instante cuando hagas tu primera apuesta de $5. En colaboración con DraftKings, la corona es tuya. ¿Problemas con el juego? Llama al 1-800-GAMBLER. En Nueva York, llama al 877-8-HOPE-NY o envía un mensaje de texto con la palabra HOPE-NY al 467-369. En Connecticut, hay ayuda disponible para problemas con el juego. Llama al 888-789-7777 o visita ccpg.org. Juega responsablemente. En nombre de Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. Debe ser mayor de 21 años. Pueden aplicarse cargos en Illinois. La elegibilidad varía según la jurisdicción. No válido en Ontario. Las apuestas de bonos son de un solo uso. La apuesta no se incluye en las ganancias y caducan después de ser otorgadas. La oferta finaliza el 29 de septiembre 2025 a las 11:59 p.m. hora del este. Los términos en DraftKings.com/sportsbook/promos.
When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does selling better than Shopify. They're the home of the #1 checkout on the planet and the not-so-secret Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales happening. Businesses that sell more sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout Allbirds and Skims use. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/start selling. All lowercase. Go to shopify.com/start selling to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/start selling.
Hi guys, welcome to this week's episode of Heavy Metal Tones with me, your podcast host, Tony Evans. This week is a real departure from my norm, I'd like to say, and what I'm looking forward to doing. We focus mainly on this episode with two bands. One is going to be Blackened Dred, and the other one is Project Ultimate Satan. Both of them are local Canberra bands. I have already had a long chat with Project Ultimate Satan, but this one that I'm going to put up tonight was the first one I did with them for another organization, for Metal Roos, actually, in fact. So instead of putting that in my Metal Roos tapes, as I am doing over the next few months, this will come in with this one, because I think it will go hand in hand with the concept of local music and local heavy music, particularly here in Canberra, Australia's national capital for those that are not living in this country. It is a smallish city, population of about 400,000 people, mainly political business here. If you want to equate it to something similar, probably Washington DC is probably it's sort of similar thing to it. Very much the center of the beating heart of the country. So a lot of people don't think of this town, which I have grown to love, of being very exciting. It can be they consider it quite boring, and doesn't have a wild scene. But actually, the music scene here is brilliant. It's been often considered the capital of Australia's metal scene for many years, and we've produced some absolute brilliant music. I'm actually going to do another one very soon on a heritage band from Canberra, which I will not divulge yet, but I will bring that up. I will let you know when it gets finally done. But as I said, the first part of the show is going to be a band called Blackened Dred. Now, Blackened Dred, D-R-E-D, not double D if you're looking for double D's, you're in the wrong place, as they would say. But if you're looking at possibly, I will put all links to both bands in the show notes, as usual. So if you want to go to their Bandcamp page on their YouTube and all that sort of thing, I'll put the links as where I can find them down in there. So Blackened Dred, I first come across them they were one of the supports for Abigail the Japanese extreme metal band, and Stalker, the Kiwi speed metal madness that we love so much. I don't think I've not done a Stalker on the show yet, but one of my favourite bands to see live. Such fun blokes, such nice guys, and so crazy. So I turned up at the basement, not knowing about Blackened Dred, and I'd missed the first track, a first song, I believe, much to my chagrin. But when I walked in on them, there was this sort of it was on the small stage in the basement. There's two stages in the basement. There's the main stage and there's the Abyss. Actually, I really like the Abyss because it's a little bit more cozier. And on they were. And Adam Dredd is this towering hill of a man from America, now living in Australia. And I knew him from playing bass for Insomnium, another brilliant local Canberra band, which again we will talk about in the future. Uh, and I was sort of blown away by the sheer enthusiasm and the I don't know, just the reverence of which he gives to the music that he's playing, because the music he's playing is it's not new, it's not nostalgia either, but it is something very uniquely uh, 1981, 82 kind of thing. It's dirty, it's fast, it's aggressive, it's full of shock imagery. It it has venom very, very much woven into its fabric, very much like as also Motorhead and Diamond Head and all those new wave of British heavy metal bands. It really has that, denim and leather Saxon kind of feel. And there are times when you listen to the album, which is now available on Spotify, when you listen to it and you think, with the album title like "Satan is the Law," it's going to be that's something that just is going to tweak your memory and your emotions if you're old enough like me to remember the feeling of. I was sort of on the tail end of the new wave of British heavy metal, but I was around about 12 when it came out, and it was very sort of nostalgic for me. Um, but those people looking back now, it's a lot of nostalgia bands looking back and wanting to play uncomplicated, fast, loud, um, youth, dirty rock and roll, the kind of music that would upset your parents. That's the kind of music that would upset your local uh, conservatives, I should say. And I really love that. I love that he's jumping in and playing with all this kind of imagery that has long gone. Really, when I think in modern metal now, it's if I think about modern metal, I often think of it, and I do a lot of interviews with a lot of bands, and it's all about these days, all about emotional depths and find soul searching and that sort of thing. Whereas we sort of grew up when it was all about Satan and the devil and rock and roll and sexy women and all that kind of thing. Now, it may be considered a little bit, I don't know, let's say a bit of sort of old fashioned, but I think that's what we're looking at. Well, I think there's a look over our shoulder to want a bit of those heydays where we didn't care. We just had fun and we played music loud and we wanted it to be annoying, but we also, because it was ours and we wanted it to be ours. Like the way that punk was very much the same as the new wave of British heavy metal is a sort of follow on from punk, isn't it? Connection, Motorhead and The Damned and things like that. So Adam Adam Dredd this album that we're talking about, Satan is the Law. He wrote everything on the album. So everything he did on the album, everything himself, drums, bass, vocals, guitar, the mixing, everything. It's a one-man passion project. And it's by no means is it a perfect piece of music. If you wanted to be, um, if you wanted something clean and perfect and polished, go and listen to Tool or something. This is a little bit lo-fi and bloody proud of it. I said I've only seen them once live at that show, and when I did see them, I'm looking forward to seeing them again. But when I did see them, you it was full on 110% passion from them all. Now he has a touring band that he plays with, and you're going to get an opportunity to hear them later on in the show. Luckily, Adam has let me play one of the live tracks. We're actually going to go. We're going to end this side once we get to the end of it with "Satan is a Law," the opening track, and title track, sorry, for the album. And then after the ads and we have a chat with, we will play the interview with Project Ultimate Satan. I'll end the show, let the show run out with a live version of Whiskey and Leather from the basement at that show that I said I was at, and it will see the difference of how the music is played, recorded and live, and you'll notice that it's pretty spot on with the passion and the fun of it all. Anyway, please do stay in for that because I really would love you to listen to it. So next up, we're going to talk about the album. So what have we got? We have got, as I said, Satan is the Law. It's a 10-track album. Okay, it is a passion project. It is something that I think very much is akin to. If you were listening to it and you're going to say could I compare it to? Certainly, very much maybe the latter Venom. So to album sort of maybe Possession onwards. It has a lot of Motorhead in there. It has a lot of Venom influence. Every time I listen to it, I hear a little bit more Venom, and I think you can hear that the influence of that in the album titles and in the lyrics themselves. I mean, the tracks are you have an intro, okay, then you've got Hammer Down, Satan's Law, Witch's Tit, which is the one we'll get back to in a second, Graveyard Shift, Hell Sent Me, Fires of Disdain, Lord of Goats, Whiskey and Leather, and the last track, Desecration Mantra. And throughout this album, there are peaks and troughs, and there are moments where you have typically like old school metal used to be, you have maybe 2-3 minutes of instrumental, and then punctuated with the screaming vocal, very much in the vein of Priest. There's a lot of Priest influence on here as well. There's a little bit of early Maiden influence. You'll hear that in Satan's Law. But the one I want to talk about is the second or third track in there, Witch's Tit, which is a brilliant name for a track, by the way. Um, it, uh, it, I don't know whether they did it deliberately, but it sounds like the Venom track, um, Teacher's Pet. In fact, I was singing along to it, and I almost found myself singing with Teacher's Pet through to it. Not they haven't copied it. It's not a copy. It's not what I'm saying. It's just it has that kind of everyone remembers Teacher's Pet by Venom. If you know Venom and how much fun it is to sing along to, and it's pretty low key disgusting, but it's still it's one of those sort of thumbs up to authority and teachers and what it was like to be a teenager and lusting after a teacher at school and this uh, is a bit like that. It's got not lyrically is the same, but musically very much in that vein. There's also sort of Black Sabbath influences somewhere in things like Hell Sent to Me. Whiskey and Leather so is so Motorhead, and Saxon, and even to some extent, I think I hear a bit of Tank in there. You know, there's all sorts of noodly bits in here, but you know, yes, there might be a misstep in the drums, and yes, there might be an offbeat on the bass, and yes, sometimes, but it feels it needs to be tweaked a bit here and there. That is not a negative. That is a positive for me because it feels that it's not so polished on a computer that the humanity, and I hope that Adam agrees with me that the the, the dungeon garage small venue sound is not taken away, polished so much, pushed through so many filters, shit out the other end of some really terrible, monotonal trash, and we are seeing that in a trend at the moment quite a bit in modern metal, where it's all one sound, it's all one direction. Even in different genres, it gets a little bit samey. They're not doing anything dramatically different, and that's probably why the reasons that I head to the underground, uh, into the places that people dare not to tread, because that's where all the interesting stuff is happening, because they're not controlled by labels. They're not controlled by how much money they've got to spend and make. It's purely art. Like I was at the basement on the weekend. I saw Sabaton on Saturday with Benji in Sydney. It was amazing. Caught up with Mike from Metal Roos and other friends. And then, the following day here in Canberra, I had Pig Destroyer and Worm Rot and Blight Worms. And honestly, brilliant. Like it was so intense, so um, the Worm Rot particularly were eye opener for me. Unbelievable three-piece band from Singapore, and what the kind of the drama and the emotion and the energy that came out of that singer, and no bass player, just guitarist, drummer, and singer, was just intense, so intense. If you ever get the chance to see him, and you don't mind that kind of music, don't hesitate. And Pig Destroyer were, of course, absolutely phenomenal, as always. Even heavier than I thought they were, and yeah, almost soul crushing in their intensity. It was amazing. Anyway, different contrast, but that's the reason I like the underground, because they're doing things they're not afraid to do. Would say bands like Sabaton wouldn't do that, even though I love them. They wouldn't do it because they've already got that huge market that they would be too afraid to try and um to be to lose. I mean, no one likes to lose lots of money, and I think that's probably where that occurs. They're still creative in their own way, of course they are, but they wouldn't go and do something really extreme because or something different, completely different to their direction, because they would worry about losing their audience. Whereas underground bands, not so much. This is as I said, this is an album of mixed emotions and genres. The album cover and the art is wonderful. I think that's also done by Adam. I could be wrong, but I think it is. It's got the goat of Mendes with a scythe and some flailing, you know, spike balls on sticks with an inverted cross, and weighing scales where the heart in one side and money in the other. It's it's just um, a uh, brilliant package for a local man making local music with as much passion that he does. He's a very gifted musician, a really nice guy as well. Genuinely, he would just wants to talk about music and bands that he loves and the direction he's going and things he's doing. It's a real pleasure to have him in the community, in our local musical community as well. But this is the reason I'm doing this today as well. It's a bit of a contradiction. Whereas I'm saying I like them to be underground, but I also want them to do well. So I really want to shout out this band, and we get to the side project Ultimate Satan, so that bands like that can get a little bit of eyes and ears on them, even for a fraction of a time. For a small podcast like mine, there's an audience out there that might, hey, even if half of you tune in and listen to their album on Spotify or YouTube or iTunes or wherever you get your music, um, that's already, you know, so much more than he's getting right now. And I think that this kind of album and this kind of musician is, if we don't put our ears on it, they will disappear. And this is a really sad fact of underground music, that you often find that these bands are not long living bands because um, they have to have lives. They have to pay their rent, their mortgage, the school fees, and put food in their mouths and things like that, and pay electricity bills and all that kind of stuff. And so it's often very much a passion project. I mean, the whole album is brilliant from A to Z. It starts off with that intro, quite dark and foreboding, and it ends with Desecration Mantra, which to me is almost Doom like. It has some early Doom esque kind of Witchfinder General sort of feel to it, and that's a big plus because I really love Witchfinder General and that early Doom stuff. Not a lot of people don't enjoy it. I really dig that early, slow, heavy stuff. So here to play out the first part of the show is Satan is the Law, the title track off the album Satan is the Law by Blackened Dred from the nation's capital here in Australia. Some blackened thrash. So when I finally stop rabbiting and it comes on, play it at 11 and play it loud to annoy your neighbours and impress your friends. Welcome back, guys. What a kick-ass number that is. A fantastic title track from Blackened Dred's 2022, can't believe it's 3 years ago, 2022 album of the same name. Anyway, if you hold in at the end of the show, there will be a live track of Whisky and Leather from the album, recorded at the Basement in Canberra, their first show when we were supporting Abigail and Stalker. It was an absolute cracking night. I was there. It went off. Brilliant. Anyway, firstly, let's talk about Project Ultimate Satan. Again, another underground band from Canberra. One that you will know of because I have already interviewed them for quite a long episode here on the show. Episode 203, actually, to be precise, way back in January of this year, 2025. So, what we're going to do is you'll hear this fantastic interview from this brilliant underground band that has made big splashes ever since I interviewed them the first time here for Metal Roos, and then I had the show set episode on 203. They've come a long way. We had some teething problems one of the very first shows in Canberra where the drum mics weren't set up and something happened and they could only play maybe two tracks. They played again recently, but unfortunately I couldn't be there because of other commitments. But they've been playing interstate with some really big bands and some good-sized festivals. They are, as you'll find out, one of my favorite local bands, an extreme underground band that makes beautiful, layered, textured, emotional, interesting, and avant-garde almost in some respect, extreme symphonic black metal. There's lots of interesting bits and pieces going on this stuff. The album itself is easily available again from all streaming platforms. Their Bandcamp has some fantastic t-shirts, and you can also buy the physical media there. I will put the link in the show notes. Hope you enjoy the chat. I really did. It was one of those times when you just sort of had fun and was quite relaxed, as it always is when I try to be with these shows. So enjoy this, and I will also, as I said, hold in, because at the end we've got a little Easter egg, a little lovely little live performance from Blackened Dred with Whisky and Leather from the Basement. As I said, the live show, it was absolutely brilliant, and it comes across on the video, so on the audio, brilliantly. And I will also put the link if and try and find a video link for it and put a video link in there if I can. Anyway, bye for now. Enjoy the interview, and then, as I said, hold in and play this live track again like last time, live and loud, to annoy your neighbours, impress your friends, and scare your cats. So hi, Jay from Ultimate Project Satan. How are you going?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Very good. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's honestly, I'm a big lover of local music. I'm a Canberran, just like yourself. And when this album came out, I'd listened to the songs that had previously been released from it, so I was really sort of like looking forward to the album coming out. And when they asked me, "Do you want to interview them?" I went, "Yeah, like why not? Bloody hell, fantastic!" I like to say on record, it is a screamer of an album. All right,
Thanks, man.
it really is. It has so much. I know people don't like to say this in metal, but it has so much soul, right? It's so deep. It's so broad. You've got to go back many times to catch bits you might have missed before. That's what I will say to anyone, listen to this album, go back many times because you won't get it in one hit.
No, there's definitely a lot of layers.
Yeah. So you're, for those that don't know who you are, you're from, the band is a sort of an amalgam of local Canberra bands, is that correct?
Yeah, so I run, co-manage Ashtonic Records, and I record and produce bands in my studio that are affiliated with the label. We're not very big. We don't have much money, so what I can do is offer services. So usually in the way of production and recording and that kind of thing. Also, we like to release our friends and our bands under the same label as well. We figure that if we're going to put money in it, may as well help other bands as well, not just finance one thing. If that makes sense.
Yes.
And is made up of a bunch of people from the record label, but This is in the formation of the label and kind of the studio stuff. So there's members from myself from Inhuman Remnants and Unholy Vendetta, Punishment. Ash is also from Unholy Vendetta, Somnium Nox, and Mezquine.
Yeah.
We've also got Scotty from Terravoris, which is a South Coast band.
Yeah.
We also had Cal on the album, who's also from Terravoris. Jem and Daryl haven't really been in too many things beforehand. But Amasash, he's from Black Mountain and a few other bands.
Brilliant. And all bands I know, all bands I've seen, and I have to say that it's a fantastic thing, the local scene. And what you're doing is really special because I mean it sincerely, because we are lovers of a genre that's not going to be stadium, right? It's always going to be grassroots at the, and if not a little higher, but it's always going to be underground or grassroots. And if you don't have people like yourself, we don't get brilliant albums like this. We don't.
Thanks.
We have to, not locally. Like I moved to Australia over 25 years ago, and I was used to an underground scene in London, and come here and it was like felt like there was a sort of a bubbling, seething cauldron here, and it really, particularly in Canberra, and it really, because I used to go to things like Metal with the Brain and all that sort of stuff, and it would just go off. And everyone says, "Oh, Canberra, they don't know what they're talking about when it comes to metal." I was like, "Yeah, I think you don't know what you're talking about." Because
you just see those boys got in the Music Hall of Fame.
Oh, I was so happy for them. I was so happy for them, man.
Yeah.
It came across my feed. I completely forgot it, like they'd mentioned it to me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, I remember that." And then, it's like, they deserve it. Man. How long, mate?
I remember, like, I'm originally a Bay boy, so I used to sneak out of home and travel to Canberra by myself and come to Metal for the Brain when I was like 14, 15, and get into that kind of stuff every year for like 5 years, man.
Oh man,
some great shows. The prestige there is crazy, and then to be around friends' bands that were playing on it, at it, and all that kind of stuff is amazing. I have close friends with a few of the boys who do the stuff, so it's good to see them getting recognized for all their hard work that they did for all those years.
Well, they did, man. Absolutely. Yeah. Like Joel, I mean, he's just around. I mean, Witch Skull is one of my favorite bands, full stop. And Joel and the boys, they know what they're doing, man. They're passionate. There's no, as we'll say with this album, right? So this album is Opus Centanus. It's not. I mean, I was quite intrigued by this album because you look at this track list, you go, oh, there's not much going on, right? And then you put it on, and it seems to go and go and go. Sometimes you put an album on and it fleets by too quickly, and you're like, oh yeah, whatever, chuck away. This one,
6 tracks.
But it really holds your attention for the 6 tracks. For listeners who haven't listened to it yet, I genuinely enjoyed the audio parts, the spoken word parts, the bits that create drama, and tension. And I was like, I wasn't expecting that. So when it comes in, I'm like, oh, she's just what I like. Like, this is right up my alley, right?
It's not very traditional for black metal people to do samples, but I'm an old school grinder, so I'm like, samples. I got to have samples, otherwise I'm bored.
Like, do it, mate. Like, honestly, I wish people would cross over and do these things. Like Cathedral. It's that kind of, we've got to use the technology you have now. It's okay to be old school. I'm an old school punker. So 3 minutes, it's all good. But when you've got the ability to create that kind of, I haven't got a physical copy, wish I had a physical, that kind of luscious soundscapes, why wouldn't you? Yeah, tricky to reproduce live. I'd probably get that.
Mate, I've been working on the in-ear rig and the AO for a couple of years now. That's why we haven't really toured too much besides the COVID factor.
Mm.
We formed in the middle of COVID, but the live playback and trying to get that stuff right to be able to back it up as we release is probably one of the bigger reasons why we've kind of held off as long as we have. That and wanting the scene to get back into full swing so that we can, when we
Yes.
tour, it's most financially effective. But the playback and that kind of stuff is crazy. As you know, there's not many people that are doing that kind of thing in the local scene. There's a few experts in like Melbourne and in Sydney, but like they're not really passing that info on. And so we've had to go down the full R&D self-development,
Yes.
put on my DIY stuff and try and figure that out. But I've got it sorted now. We're definitely ramping up the touring going into next year. We've got 2 shows in December, 27th, 28th, one in Melbourne at the Bendigo, one in the Velvet Underground at Adelaide.
Ooh,
Pretty rad.
yeah.
And then we should have a bunch more. We'll do a Canberra launch sometime
Please.
soon. I'll also we're going to be doing some private party setup stuff. So if you're interested in those kind of ones,
Yes.
but we just go and jam and test our gear and do
Yeah.
run through stuff like that. If you're
Fantastic.
interested, I'll invite you to that as well.
Yeah, I'd
Hook you
love
up
to
with
be there. Like, honestly,
physical
because the
copy of
scene
it.
here, yeah, the scene here is so, and it's people like you. I really mean it. It's like, you know, people that you pass in the street, you know, you go, hey, and then you put the album on, you go, this is amazing. Is this produced in LA? Like, you know, the
Thanks, man.
production on it
That's massive.
is solid, really solid. I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
I did most
yeah.
of the recording and production, but I didn't do the mix and master. So I went to Gib from Gibbonez Music. He's a local mix masterer. He's great. His studio, he has a whole bunch of hardware gear. He's got that ear IQ. And he also let me kind of sit behind him and kind of like make sure that I was getting what I wanted out of it. Being physically present through that kind of process was like what I really wanted out of that. I'm a bit of a control freak, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know what? It's your art, it's your baby. You know, look, the thing about like big bands, how often do you hear big bands? I mean, Maiden said they hate the first album, right? The sound, yeah? How many times do you hear that? They go, it went off, we had no control, we come back and it's not what we wanted to put out. You know, it's all right if you've got 25 billion pounds behind you, yeah? But this is a lot of money and effort and labor for you. And I don't see that. I think that's a brilliant thing that you can put your fingerprint on all of the parts. Because when you hear it, you go, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted, you know?
It's pretty damn close, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was talking to the guys from Alarum, and they're saying the same thing, you know, like just it's all studios. The hardest part of work is the studio work, you know, because it's the
make or break a band.
Well, it's the other member of the band, isn't it? It's the unmentioned member of the band. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It's that one that doesn't get the credit. It's the studio work.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And when you came to writing, because I mean, obviously, there's all these people from all these different bands coming along and working. It doesn't sound like that. It sounds like you've been working together for years. Like when you put it on, it doesn't sound disjointed. It doesn't sound like there's someone want to go one way, but you can feel they're pulling another. How did you get that without?
So that's producing and being able to talk to people and we call it auditioning, man. We audition ideas, we audition sounds, like we just work through it and made sure that people were happy with their performances, making sure infinite time at my house, right? So
yeah, of course, you're not paying for studio time, right? That's it. Yeah.
Right. So are you happy with this? What do you think we could do better? Do you want to try an idea? Do you want to try some different voices? Do you want to try things that kind of see what will like not work against it and stuff like that? So it was great.
Yeah, because it's unique. Genuinely unique. Like and that's like there's a lot of bands in this country that do unique. You know, I love that about Australia. You know, like Neo Obliviscaris and things. They're unique, even though there's a sound out there like them. They're unique, and I think that's the case here with this album because I've always loved Ultimate Vendetta. Right, like
always. Yeah, yeah. As soon as the first time I saw them, I should say, it was
Thanks,
like,
man.
it was,
Unholy Vendetta was one
yeah,
of my favorite bands that I've ever been in. Working with Necrosabak and Adrian.
yeah.
Those guys are brilliant musicians.
I wandered it.
And
Yeah, I wandered into one of your gigs. It was you were supporting someone. I can't remember who it was years ago, and there was a better than the. I can't even remember the actual act. I remember the support act more. I went to say and bought all the
okay,
merch.
it's crazy
Yeah,
because
great.
if that was more recent times, that would have been like Flesh God Apocalypse or At the Gates and the Haunted.
I did see you at the Gates and Haunted, and I thought that you would definitely be careful what I say out loud in front of people.
Yeah,
But I
because
liked it. I loved it.
yeah, thanks, man. I had a great night that night. It's like meeting your childhood hero, right?
Yes.
I,
Yeah.
I
I,
had the I had Andy walk up to me after my set and be like, "Man, that was amazing," and I was like, "Oh my God, Sanders, what do I
yes.
do?"
Don't you
Full,
love that?
full fanboyed out, just and then he
Oh,
like into the back and introduced me to Ola, and I forget the
oh,
name of Hornet singer, and all the boys and like just good, genuine people, mate.
man,
It
that's
was
it.
amazing.
And that's the
And
thing, isn't it? They're not up their own bums, man.
no,
They
they're
know
not.
where they're at. They know where they're at. Like I had a good old beer with what's his name from Witchery, and he's like
Yeah,
up
yeah,
there. I'm like, hello, like it
yeah.
was just such a nice feeling because it was like the first time all those three bands in Canberra. What a lineup, right? Firstly,
Yeah, man.
and not
Yeah.
having to travel to bloody Sydney for it.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Dougie. That's another hardworking dude in the scene, man.
Oh God, yes, man. He's
You
had
know,
some ups and downs. That poor bugger. But
like,
he works hard, mate. He really
yeah,
works
he
hard.
does.
Yeah,
He
I mean,
does.
He bought
Genuine
Venom out, so I was
gentleman.
like, yes, that's good enough for me.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Oh dear
and
me. So
that show was
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. Oh man, it was off the wall. I don't. All I remember is I drank too much, but then I think we all did, didn't we? Like it was.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely celebrated a lot after getting off the stage, mate. I'll tell you.
Yeah, and it was like the old basement when it was all sticky floors, slightly smaller dance, mosh pit. It felt a
They
little bit
just
more
removed the
dank.
carpet, eh?
Yeah, that's. They just moved the carpet.
And there was a little bit of glue left.
Yeah,
That was
yes.
funny.
Because I was saying to Mick, like, where's all the carpet gone? Where's my bit of carpet? I would have bought it and take it back home.
Yeah.
I've stood at that carpet for many years. Could I have that bit of carpet, please? Ah, dear, dear, dear. So obviously, this is out now, and it's
Yep.
a lot of work, and I'm hoping that it really sends you into a little bit. Me wants you to go out and do massive things, but a little bit wants you to stay Canberran. Like like it's like
Yeah.
I'm a bit jealous.
Um,
Like don't.
Man, we're hoping it's well received. We should have a follow-up album to it within the next 8 months or so.
Oh my God, really?
We finished recording in 2021, right? So
Yes. Wow.
we've been in the studio, myself, Daryl, and Amasash, and we've been recording a bunch, and it's same thing again, but more brutal. The
Fantastic.
ability to be able to write the orchestral parts is like where our skill levels changed. The sound that I'm getting and able to get at home before I take it to the mix mastering with Gib is crazy next level as well.
Wow.
So we're hoping it should be like tours, bang,
Oh,
bit more PR, maybe release a film clip, then bang, new album, bang. We should have a lot of content to come.
well, this is you are. It's like I was to say. Made some notes here actually to talk about it. I got so excited, Chang. But the harmonies and the orchestral pieces, and I said it before, spiritual. I know it feels really organic. Sometimes when you hear this bit, some of the music can be quite forced. Oh, we better put something there because we've run out of ideas. This doesn't feel like that. It feels like it's two separate albums almost, but beautifully coming together.
Yeah,
And
we try to do we try to do the orchestras as like a male choir, and the boys can sing, and so we kind of do that, and we do the like tunnel throat singing kind of stuff, and that's also adds to that effect, and trying to bring all the different elements. Everyone tells me I threw the whole sync at it. Well, I
I
kind
love
of
it.
did.
No, more. Add
Kinda
more.
did.
Do more.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we definitely are a more is more kind of band, but trying to make things sit and then have the right piece go to the top, and
Yes.
then have the next thing rise, and then when I want all of it to rise at the same time, have that peak.
Yeah.
I'm almost not many people that are in an extreme metal band go slow. You
No.
know,
No.
the thing that makes all the stuff sounds so cacophonic is that we build, and there's slow parts, there's fast parts, there's things that dip out. The dynamic range in that album is crazy.
And you pick it up. If you've got an ear for this sort of thing, I do, and a lot of people do as well, they sit down, they pick it up, because it's the kind of album where I have to sit down in a darkened room to first listen
Yeah.
to it. You know what I mean? Like I couldn't be on the go because I wasn't catching things. It was
Yeah.
lovely walking around doing things, but yeah, that's great. But as soon as I sat down and gave myself to it,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I
it's a
can't wait for the next album and be able to do Atmos, because I've prepped it for Atmos, and I'm not promising that it's gonna
Ah,
happen, but I'm trying. I'm really trying.
oh,
Right. So we'll
yeah.
go to Melbourne, and we'll get someone in Melbourne to help us out there. But man, having all that stuff in 3D, that'll just blow my mind.
God,
Otherwise,
can you
yeah,
imagine it? You wouldn't know where to be in the room. Like,
I'm super keen to play.
I bet you are. I bet you are. And before we go, I just want to say I love the art. By the way, I
Thanks,
absolutely
man.
love the art. I'm about to get a T-shirt because I was like, that is a
Nice.
cracker of a cover.
Yeah.
Uh,
Between Ben Wrigley's kind of 3D stuff and Wopsmead's kind of Elderic horror
yes.
slash uh anti-Christian kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Ben, I don't know if you know, he's been doing a bunch for like Parkway Drive and those kind of dudes.
Yes.
He did the Blade to Rest cover for like Shadow of Intent and that kind of
Wow.
thing. If you have a look at the album, you'll notice that like it's Satan's skull, but he's pieced back together with gold
Yes.
pieces, kind of like a Japanese kind of. I think it's kintsugi's.
Kintsugi. That's it. Yes. Yeah. My wife was talking about it the other day.
And yeah. So it's kind of like the album, the Opus Satanis, is the opus for me, right? So
Yeah.
we wrote it for ourselves, and it's kind of like a, I don't know, pull yourself back together, make yourself better out of the fragments from your life and that kind of thing. So you'll notice that some of the other pieces of art are like human skulls. So that's all
Yeah.
that represents all the human frailties. You'll
Brilliant.
notice that the other face of Satan is kintsugi as well. But like you'll notice that there's like roses that are white that are covered in blood,
Yeah.
and the blood kind of seeps in, and yeah, anyway, there's all that, and then you've got a giant Cthulhu as the Antichrist, which
Which I
is
loved. I was
yeah,
like just onto it like it's like whoa,
yeah.
brilliant.
So we're kind of doing that too with the, like, we like horror stories, we like mythology,
Mm.
we like heaps of stuff. Like we're anti-theists, we're
Mm.
anti-Abrahamic,
Yeah.
but we're trying to mix it with different things that people can relate with. Like if you're going to have cosmic horror, who better than to have a Lovecraftian?
Lovecraft. Exactly right.
You
Exactly
know what I
right.
mean? So,
Yeah. It'd be mad not to. Yeah. It is the way it is. Hey, but I'm gonna wrap this up soon. But it's been fantastic talking with you. I really, genuinely, it blew me away.
thanks,
I
man.
listened to the stuff when he first released it. Well, back in night, is it 21 when that single, the
Yeah,
first
20,
single?
2022
Yeah,
was the Symphony S single,
yeah,
and we we were in the running for a competition with the Diablo stuff.
Oh, really?
The samples from Diablo 4. So
Yeah.
we wanted to have it out with the release. So that's we dropped that one a little early. And then the other two, because we're all video game nerds as
Yeah.
well. So there's heaps of different things. Anyway, yeah,
Brilliant.
2022.
Yeah. And that's something I heard it, and I remember, and then of course, it's so long ago, life goes on. You forget.
Yeah.
I listen to so much, and you do forget. You go, okay, that because it was only a
Yep.
couple of singles, and then when I saw the album launch, like stuff come through on my desk, I was like, yeah, this is right up my street. And I remember going back and listening, going to YouTube and watching it again, and going, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I remember watching it on YouTube, but it first because it was Canberra, I thought, yeah, brilliant, right? So I'm really pleased. I'm really thankful again, all us local metalheads, um, who it doesn't. And I like to say this to the watchers: it doesn't matter whether you like black metal, death metal, thrash, whatever. You're going to get something out of this album. I think you will get something out of this album. The only people that aren't going to enjoy it are the people who like probably power metal and things like that. Because it's not quite there. But the extreme metal, if you're into extreme metal, like we are, this is a whole new dawn of sound for me. Like it's beautiful, mate. Thank you very much.
Thanks, man. That's huge.
I really appreciate it. It's beautiful, and I would dare say it's probably one of the best albums of the year. So there you go.
Yeah.
You heard
Thanks,
it from
man.
me.
That's massive, dude.
No,
I
pleasure, man.
appreciate
Absolute pleasure. But anyway, I better wrap up and get on and do things. But hopefully, we'll see you on the road soon, and I hope that those album sales go flying out the door for you, because you well deserve it, man. You really do.
Thanks, man.
Bye
Legend.
for now, man.
Thank you, JDK from Project Ultimate Satan. As I said, brilliant interview. Really enjoyed chatting to him. I have become ever since a firm fan of the band and advocate of their brilliant music and keeping it local at the same time, having such a big and interesting and international kind of sound, contrasting beautifully with the underground growl and power and just youthful madness of Blackened Dred. So here we go, as I promised, a live track exclusively here for you on Heavy Metal Tones, Whisky and Leather, live at the Basement in Canberra from Blackened Dred, the brilliant local band. Enjoy how fantastic this sounds live, and hopefully you get to catch them if you live in the local area or in Australia sometime to catch them. And maybe even, you never know, they may even make it overseas one day. Yeah, never know. Things always can happen. Here it is, Whisky and Leather live. Play it loud, play it fast, play it to annoy your neighbours, impress your friends, and scare your dogs. Bye for now.
Whiskey and Leather!
Ya vienen los touchdowns. ¿Estás listo? Esta temporada de la NFL convierte las jugadas grandes en premios con DraftKings Sportsbook, un socio oficial de apuestas deportivas de la NFL. Descarga la app de DraftKings Sportsbook y usa el código HEART. Ese es el código HEART para recibir $200 en bonus bets al instante cuando hagas tu primera apuesta de $5. En colaboración con DraftKings, la corona es tuya. ¿Problemas con el juego? Llama al 1-800-GAMBLER. En Nueva York, llama al 877-8-HOPE-NY o envía un mensaje de texto con la palabra HOPE-NY al 467-369. En Connecticut, hay ayuda disponible para problemas con el juego. Llama al 888-789-7777 o visita ccpg.org. Juega responsablemente. En nombre de Boot Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas. Debe ser mayor de 21 años. Pueden aplicarse cargos en Illinois. La elegibilidad varía según la jurisdicción. No válido en Ontario. Las apuestas de bonos son de un solo uso. La apuesta no se incluye en las ganancias y caducan después de ser otorgadas. La oferta finaliza el 29 de septiembre 2025 a las 11:59 p.m. hora del este. Los términos en DraftKings.com/sportsbook/promos.